Hey guys, what's going on? Lucky here. So I got a bunch of requests asking me if I could do a video on the tunnel that I'm getting ready to build on the Roadster. So I'm building the tunnel right now. So here is a short video. So a couple of things I did was, first of all, when we fit the motor and tranny in, we just clearanced it for the transmission, because we're able to weld in a bunch of new stuff if necessary. If I had tons of time, I would contour it around the transmission and keep it real tight and close. We don't have tons of time. So we're never gonna have a ton of foot space in here either. So first thing I did was with the firewall, I made it symmetrical, or pretty close to it. Cut it nice and round, filed the edges, kept it clean. If you're doing this at your house, what I recommend you do is get a straight edge. There's my straight edge, a little piece of 1x, and lay it on either side of the transmission next to the floor, because your floor is going to have a bunch of corrugations and humps and stuff in it. So you have to work around all that. But what I've done numerous times is cut around the transmission. I've cut a ton of floor out, basically. I've done it where I try to save the tunnel. I'll just do a little incision on either side of the tunnel and raise it and work around it. And I always end up just cutting the whole thing flush on the floor. Then I will scribe a line about 1 inch from the edge all the way around, trying to keep it kind of straight. It doesn't have to be exact, but getting it kind of straight. And then I will fold the edge up like they did here, all the way around. So if I had a straight line next to the transmission right here, I would then take pliers or channel locks, or make a tool that grabbed it and bent it up, and then hammer and dolly it so that it's straight. So now I have a nice surface to press something against and cut or weld to. So, and I'll do that all the way up and all the way around the firewall. So it gives a little reinforcement to the firewall, and it also gives you something to weld to. And it makes it a lot simpler to make the tunnel too. In theory, you would be able to bolt the tunnel in or screw the tunnel in and remove it, but honestly, that's a lot more effort than it's worth. So after I cut this kind of straight, let me get that straight edge and show you what I did. I made it so that I have somewhat of a straight line. I did a little dotted line right here, just a little reference as to where the seat approximately will be, so to not go into that area, encroach into that area. Obviously, there's lots of extra room cut out on both sides of the transmission, so I'll be patching that back up, but I made a little bit of a straight line here and right up to there. And got it kind of close. I will trim that up a little bit more, grind it a little bit, and that's going to be my straight edge. Once the tunnel is installed, I will then make a patch panel to repair this stuff that somebody else had cut out. Obviously, I don't need all of this. I can even probably bring it in a little bit, but we got enough room in this thing. I'm probably just going to put a cup holder on each side of the transmission. These are the important pieces. I did the same thing on this side. There's the mark, and it goes straight up to the firewall. So it's somewhat straight. Doesn't have to be exact, but somewhat straight. After that's done, Mark, will you hold that? I got some project paper, and first I made one piece, got it kind of close. Hold please, I'm backing up right now. So I did this with the construction paper. I made one piece, got it kind of close, just kind of eyeballed it. That ends up being a pattern. You have to do it 2 or 3 times. Get it kind of close. Have an idea of where the shifter is going to be, and then drop this in. It lays right on the transmission, and then I will massage it around a couple lines that may be in the way a little bit. Get it up there, somewhat close to where it needs to be. That's a little wide. Looks a little. Yeah, that would fit, still fit, but it's a little bit wide. So that's going to go about there. And
And this is gonna go about here. A little crooked. I will then be patching a little bit of the firewall and a little bit of the floor on either side. Once this is all laid in there, so one thing about this car, I can reach the other side and actually pull this up to the firewall. So that's pretty close right there.
That's good right there.
It's not terrible. I'm not hating it right now. So it will be pushed down and over just a little bit. So I'm gonna get some tape because making it all, the time you spend making it out of paper and making it fit right is saving you all the time of fighting with it when it's all put together. So. Pretty close to the lines I drew earlier. Can you see them there? I believe you can. There's the lines. So that's pretty close, with the exception of the
What's going on, Chief? Are you guys working on the hot rod, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so I fit the paper pretty close. I think it's pretty close. Hello? But you can see it looks a lot larger. Like I can make the whole thing a lot smaller, but honestly, the more air that's able to flow over all this, the better it's going to keep everything cool. Keep the interior cool, keep your feet cool, because air's blowing through there. There's more than enough room there for me to put my foot in, step on the gas pedal, step on the brake. Yeah, I think it's fine. So the next piece I need to make is just going to go from here to this area. So it's got to get close to this area, from there to there. I could go from here all the way back to here, and I may, if it depends on the contour, what it looks like, but yeah, I may choke it off right about here, just to keep it kind of contoured. But yeah, so it doesn't look terrible. Looks okay under the car. I could, like I said, make a smaller tunnel, but I mean, for what? I'm not gonna put AC under the dash. So that right there is gonna allow air to flow over everything. And it should be pretty A-okay. I hope that tape doesn't melt on the freeway. Just saying. All right, so with all this set up, I'm gonna go a little bit down with this, I think. That line's pretty close. And then on this side, maybe about the same. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna go with. Down, try to keep it narrower. Because if it's a little narrower, like that, it's a little less material right back here. And I'm already gonna do a patch panel here and here. So maybe it'll be a little bit more. Yeah, I think that's gonna fly. So, all right, let's whip that up real fast. Nothing even on, dude.
What's that mark for?
It's just a reference, roughly, where the floor is going to get shallow. And you know what? You can always take a little more off. So that first cut was just a test. Okay, does not look terrible. So now, reference mark. And then so with that like that. Okay, so it looks like I'm gonna do this in 3 pieces. Trying to keep it narrow. Still got that straight line on either side, or pretty close to straight. Means you that all this is gonna be made out of steel. I'll be able to bend it straight again. I'm gonna try to slide this up just a little bit. Got a couple magnets out, the whole thing's in place. 3 pieces. Different colored pin for the reference, but it looks like it's still okay. By drawing this line, I'll be able to see what kind of angle. And then the same with this one. Now I'll be cutting a ton out of all this. So right now the pieces are laying over each other like that. So you'll see when I take it apart. So have a look. Let's see how far it's hanging over, but all that's gonna get cut off because I'm gonna weld it right there. And the same with this piece. Well, no, that one's not so bad, but that'll be cut all the way back to here because I don't want any contact with the shifter. Super.
Okay, so here's the first one I did. Just sort of ripped it up, kind of stuck it in there, worked my way around the shifter, got an idea on one side, and got it closed. Then I took that piece and I laid it on another piece and did the cleaned up idea. And every time I did it, I probably added 1/2 inch or 3/4 of an inch to the edges. That's why you see a bunch of lines. And then figured out that the shifter needed to be moved over, so it was. I was a little bit short on the paper on one side, so I had to extend that. So that piece is done and gone. And that piece actually fits in there pretty well. Rough. I then drew a little line, adding once again another inch or so. I'll probably end up trimming that down even more once it's all laid in there. And then there is this piece. Was the back, and this was the middle. And it's curved. So yeah, let's trim that up right now. If you remember in the car, all this is going to be going down into the tunnel. The floor will be here, but this will be on top of the floor. So I'm hoping that my origami skills are on point. A little bit off, but pretty close. Doesn't look terrible. Looks good. So, once again, I cannot emphasize this enough. The more time you spend making the paper fit, which even though it looks like a pain in the butt, it's half the pain of working with metal. So, CAD, cardboard assisted design, is the key. So when this is all in, I'm probably gonna cut this hole a little bit further back for the shifter, even though I can put a leather boot or something on that. But yeah, that's gonna fit fine. And then also, if I have something that is kind of a straight edge, you'll be able to see that when I do the patch panel right here, this will be somewhat straight, probably all the way to about there.
know if you can actually see that or not. And the same on this side. Maybe we need to test fit this. Ready? Test fit. Pretty close. Okay. Hand me that shifter. I have to simulate get the full effect. Very well. Yep. Okay, wish me luck. I'm gonna try and get in. We're a little elevated right now, so it's a little difficult. Yep. Hold on. Catch your breath. Okay, so I can't actually rest my foot on the floor comfortably above the brake pedal. I did a car before and the brake pedal was too high. It was just uncool. So that's kind of okay. And honestly, I could drive with one foot, but you kind of need to drive with both. So no interference. Yeah, I think this is going to work. I think I may raise the steering wheel a little bit. I'll probably lower that pedal a little bit. Kind of comfortable. All right, I'm sold. Run the cherry picker over here and get me out. Pull the forklift in. So the question is, can I freehand this? You know, not really much I can't do. But the question is, can I do it right? That is the question. so being a realist, I like to work with what I got. Just happen to have an empty propane tank floating around. I think I was gonna shoot this thing. It's empty, pretty empty. All right, so here's the tunnel. Never mind the welding, I had Mark weld it. I just kidding.
I did it.
Just kidding, I'm trying to match the patina on the car. That's actually nice for the car. So here's the tunnel from my cardboard. This is the front piece, obviously, with the hole kind of massaged a little. That was the third piece that went in the middle, kind of looked like a dog bone. And then the piece that's gonna go over the actual tunnel, the drive shaft, is really simple, so I'm just gonna do that after the fact. I've test fitted numerous, I can't count how many times this has been in and out. Fits really well. Once I got it in, got it up where I needed, I used a Sharpie, laid it on the floor, and just did a little guide all the way around. And then I whipped up a couple of 4-inch pieces and broke them at 1 inch. And the way these are gonna work is our big gaping holes in the floor. So instead of doing a whole bunch of different patch panels, this, when it's all said and done, will weld to the floor. I'll punch some holes right here and I will plug weld this to that. And it will be secure and patch in the floor, all in one easy step. The next thing I have to do, once that's there, and this is here, is this is the firewall. So I have to figure out a way to attach it to the firewall. What I ended up doing was taking the same piece of material, cutting it at 2 inches, breaking it at 1 inch. Once you get it done at 1 inch, it looks like that. But it's a round surface. So I want this to go against the firewall like this. So what I'm doing is I'm using the shrinker stretcher right here. I'm using the stretcher jaws. And what they do is they grab a hold and then push these apart as I go. I put some references to the middle and say every 3 inches. You can use any measurement you want, 3 inches, 5 inches, 10 inches, whatever. And I can look in there and see I hit this about 3 times, 3 times, 3 times. I'm gonna go back again and go in between those. You can go on top of them, it doesn't really matter. And the more you do it, the more, you can make this thing go all the way around in a circle. It will be so distorted you can't do anything with it, but you can definitely get it around something like this. So it looks like I need to hit them all one more time and go a little bit further. Where's the middle? There's the middle. So that's what I'm doing. So, some more stretchy. Starting in the middle, working my way out. Now you can, after you stretch it, if you stretch it too far, you can change the jaws. It's kind of a pain.
So you can change the jaws and go back and shrink up what you stretch. Really not good for the metal. Target. That one was plenty tight. Good, so the shrinking I did, the stretching I did on the front face to make it longer and make it curved. When I did that, I guess it would be the horizontal plane, that was not seating correctly. So I shrunk it down a little bit so it kind of concaved it. So stretch, shrink. Ow. Got a splinter. One little spot to massage and we're going to test fit.
How's my hair?
Looks good.
Nice. I'm going for it. Trying to make a fashion statement and build cars at the same time. Difficult.
Don't quit your day job.
Coming out with a new hair product. See how I call the product. This is where you remind yourself that it's really hot up in the front, and you grab it anyway. If you want it, it's too hot to wear.
It's too.
It's still too hot.
Wow.
All right, so
Close that glove box.
I need to trim it on both sides so that it drops down a little bit,
Look at that.
but it's pretty close.
Look at this.
I'm not hating it right now.
Super nice. Look at that. I'm digging the firewall, the stretchies. There.
Shrinking and stretching.
That looks really good, man.
Okay, well I just wanted to set it in there, see what it looks like. It's too hot to work on, and it's too hot today. So that's a wrap on today.